go. Yeah, it's too cold for that. A little too chilly. Morning. Top of the morning. Want to start getting in the habit. I don't think I have anybody. No, not really today. I was gonna say I want to get in the habit of calling like my really warm or hot leads multiple times a day. Um, like I have been following up with Marilyn, who I had the verbal agreement with. That's kind of how I want to approach those type of leads. If we've come to a verbal agreement or they're like damn near ready to sign, or I've fully pre-qualified them and all they need is an offer or, something like that. Sorry, I'm cleaning my glasses. I want to start prioritizing my leads the best way I can and like categorizing them and having them fall into different buckets. And I kind of do that on a wide scale lens. Like, I'm following up with some of my leads weekly, some of them monthly, some of them, semi-annually. So I kind of already do it, but I want to, I was just thinking about this when I was waking up. I want to refine that and like get even a little bit more meticulous about it and do it on an even smaller scale. Like somebody who I'm following up weekly, I want to start following up with people daily, if they're hot enough, to the point where maybe I'm even calling them multiple times a day, like morning, afternoon, evening. Just so I don't ever want to make an excuse for myself like, oh, it's too early or it's too late or, I'm over making excuses for myself and feeling sorry and stuff like that. I'm trying to get to it. So I don't think I have anybody like that today. I kind of just scanned through, but I definitely want to start doing that for my hotter leads here. Why does Zoom keep giving me discounts? What do you even have to pay Zoom for? I don't get that. But I bring that up because I'm looking at my follow-ups that I have for the day. Again, I wanted to see if there was anybody worth following up with right now. But I don't really think there is. And to be honest, I'm not really like in the perkiest of moods since I only woke up recently. So I don't want to be. I only have a couple of follow-ups for the day. Yesterday, pretty interesting. Got a text at 9:33 p.m. my time, which is 11:33 p.m. the seller's time. He texted me back at 11:33, which was about 12 hours since I last texted him. And he texted me saying, 230,000, please call my realtor, and gave me his realtor's name and number. I've come across this a few times where people will refer you to their realtor even though it's not being sold on market. It's kind of just like I'm sure it's like a family friend or somebody who's helped this gentleman with all of his realtor needs or real estate needs in the past. So just a trusted source, like, here, talk to this person if you want to buy it. Here, talk to this person. And I feel like that's what the case is because I quickly pulled it up on Zillow to see that it was not listed. He's asking, again, I didn't really dive too deep into this because it was so late last night, but he's asking 230. His estimate is 260. Looks like a really nice house too. It's clearly a picture that was taken and not Street View, Google Maps. So he's already kind of asking a reasonable price. I just want to see if I'd be able to do it now. Let me run some comps on this real quick. had a question from Lala. We're going back and forth in email about comping out in Texas, which is different. I wanted to wait for her to get in here, or at least for somebody who's wholesaling out in Texas to be in here so that we can talk about it. But it is, hold on, I gotta plug up before my computer dies. It is different because it's a non-disclosure state. So you're limited to pulling the data from the MLS history or on market sales. If it's off market, there's no requirement for anybody to report that sales information, the sales data, the prices. What's going on, Jared? There's no obligation for them to report that information to the county or the state since it's a non-disclosure state. So yeah, there's no obligation there. So you're kind of forced to work off of MLS data. That being said, very rarely do you come across, well, let me start by saying this. So that being the case, primarily I am, when it comes to, coming up with my offer price, I am reverse engineering it, you know, working a formula, a buy formula. Like I'm sure you've seen a lot of, the pros teach. That's what I'm forced to do. I'm forced to look at the comps that are fully fixed up, determine what our property can sell for after it's all fixed up, and then reverse engineer it. Okay, if they sell it on market, they're going to have to pay X amount in fees and commissions. Okay, then the buyer is going to want to take at least this much profit. I'm going to want to take this much of an assignment fee, and the property is going to need this much in repairs so I can offer X. That's pretty much what you're a lot of times forced to do. At least that's what I'm finding. In Texas, non-disclosure state, I don't have any experience in disclosure states or other non-disclosure states aside from Texas, but that's what I'm primarily doing now. Sometimes just because it's sold on market doesn't mean that it wasn't sold as is. So sometimes you'll find properties that sold on market that I think Jared, I think we ran a comp the other, sent you a text on Instagram about this lead I got yesterday. All right, let me check it out in a minute. I think me and Jared actually went back and forth about a property just the other day where you pull up all the comps and it's very clear that half of them are sold, as is, rent ready condition, and the other ones are in a whole new ballpark, where they're selling for $100,000 more. And then you can click into the pictures and clearly see that they're fix and flips. So if that's the case, then you can do what a lot of people do who are in disclosure states. So the people who are in disclosure states have the benefit of seeing these prices off market. So if somebody were to just go to their friend and say, "Hey, I'll pay you $100,000," they pay them for the property, and then all of that gets recorded so that it's public information. So anybody can see in county records that Joe Schmo paid Sally Sue $100,000 for her house. And if that's the case, and if there's enough of that data, then it's literally, there's no formula involved. You can see, okay, let me compare apples to apples. All right, this property is very similar to my property, and this property sold cash for 100,000. Now all you have to do is get it under 100,000 because cash buyers are paying 100,000. Obviously, you would want more than one comp to justify that. You ideally you'd see 3 to 5 comps all going from 100 to 115,000 as is, right, for cash. So now again, all right, so I think that I'll be able to dispo my property after I get it under contract for anywhere from 100 to 115,000. I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to want to get it under 95 to secure at least a minimum of a $5,000 assignment fee. If I get lucky and I'm able to push values up to 115, that'll give me a $20,000 assignment fee, But that's the luxury that people who are in disclosure states have. They have the opportunity to see what cash buyers, and if there's enough market activity, you can even limit your parameters to only just show me cash buyer transactions that bought in an LLC, right? So now you really know, okay, these are companies, these are LLCs who are buying these properties cash, and it's that much more validation for what your offer price will be. But those, people who are in disclosure states have that luxury of just simply seeing what properties are selling for cash and offering underneath that, right? Whereas in a non-disclosure state, you're pretty much forced to work the formula and reverse engineer it in order to come up with your offer price if no property is sold on market in as is condition. But again, just to drive that point home, not to say that it doesn't happen. If you get a good little pocket where your subject property is, and there's enough market activity in the area, you'll see and you'll be able to find comps. Pull it up on Zillow, look at the MLS history or whatever, and you'll see the listing description. You know, perfect investor opportunity, being sold as is, cash offers only. So then again, you're pretty confident in knowing that this was a cash buyer who bought this property, and you'll be able to tell from the pictures, like, nobody's buying this property to live in it. You know, it's gutted to the studs and it's being sold as is. So hopefully Lala taps into this and checks that little explanation out, because she had emailed me a little bit ago asking about that for that property. Actually, the reason we were going back and forth is because I got that. I mean, I wouldn't even really consider it a lead, but he has a house that he wants to sell in her market, so I kicked it her way. So she was kind of just asking about, how to come up with the comps or offer price and what have you. So because she was working at the Alabama market right now, I'm actually unfamiliar. I don't know if that's disclosure or non-disclosure, but this is the first Texas lead that she's going to work. So she was kind of asking about that. So let me comp this one real quick. Oh, let me check it out. Let me see what you're talking about, Jared, as I'm pulling this property up. All right. Let's see what you're talking about, Jared. Got this lead yesterday. Him and his wife in the divorce process. Wants nothing to do with the house. Super stressed out, but the main thing is him finding somewhere to stay. Okay. So it sounds like it's owner occupied. He doesn't want to move to an apartment. He wants to rent a house or something. Okay. But also his credit is a little messed up. House ARV is like 400K, possibly more. He said he just doesn't he doesn't care if he takes a loss. He just wants to be gone from the house. Jeez, that sounds like a lead. I'll tell you that much. Just wanted to see if you can help me figuring out where you can move to, because that would be the main thing. Or what do you think we could do? Yeah. What I would do in that situation is get him in contact with a realtor. Uh, it's in Amarillo, and it's in a nice neighborhood, and the area is really good. Also, everything is around is like a mall and shopping centers. Yeah. So I mean, sounds like a good spot. Um, I would. You're going to need to recruit help. You're going to need to recruit help in the form of somebody who has the willingness and bandwidth to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Um, he's one of those rare leads just want to be done with it. Yeah. So now I think it sounds like it just comes down to the confidence that you're going to be able to instill in him in you getting the job done. So it sounds like it's owner occupied. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like it's owner occupied. Does his wife slash ex-wife live there too? And are they going to be, I'm imagining, not moving to the same place? So will she need a place to move to too? So are you trying to find two different, regardless, I would, I would work the deal, uh, and reassure him. This is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to, she doesn't live with him. Okay. So you're gonna do one of two things. One, you're either going to have to work a lease back agreement or escrow hold back, however you want to do it, um, to where he can get paid first on the sale of the property, and then use that money to get into something else. Um, and it'll allow him to stay in the property for 30 to 45 days, whatever you guys come to the agreement on. Or he can find a place if it's not an issue. If money is not the issue, then he can simply find a place, move to. But he has money, yeah. So I wouldn't even mess around with the lease back then. Doesn't sound like it's necessary. Uh, I mean, yeah, if it's really like you might not even need the help of a realtor to be quite honest. Says he gets about 7K a month. I would just find I would just work the deal. I would work the deal and not even really consider. I mean, I would consider it, but expenses are like 4K. He says he gets about 7K a month. Yeah, that's all kind of irrelevant to be quite honest. I would just figure out what his goals are and try to help him out. Where are you trying to move to? What area are you looking at? I can, if you'd like, I can recruit the help of a realtor to get you in. It wouldn't. A lot of times, realtors will like leasing agents, not leasing agents, but yeah, I think they're actually called that leasing. There are people specifically to help you, like apartment locators, that'll do it free of charge, and they have like connections with the apartments that they're putting them up in, and the apartments actually pay them a little like referral fee or whatever. So main thing is he wants to go to a house because he has a lot of tools and stuff. Doesn't want an apartment. Oh, okay. Well, then you're gonna have to recruit the help of a realtor, and then you're gonna have to have that conversation of, are you wanting to put a down payment on a new, like how quickly is he wanting to do this? You know what I mean? It sounds like he wants to do it quick, but he also can't have his cake and eat it too, right? Um, I guess like where's the friction here? What are you needing to know, or like um, just a little confused as to like the direction to point you in. Essentially, he needs the help of a realtor if he's trying to buy a house, right? And then it comes down to whether or not he needs the money to put down for a down payment, because now the timing has to be right. You're going to have to not only coordinate the move out of him from this property and the cash buyer, the wholesale transaction. You're not only having to coordinate that, but you're having to coordinate that with him buying a new place. He said he'd be fine renting a house. Okay, so then tell him. Then it comes down to his willingness to participate. Is he looking for a house currently? He wants to be done with it so bad, but does he know what his options are? Is he looking around? Renting a house, I mean, it's you just go on Google, Zillow, and rent.com or whatever, and find a place. So I would kind of like put that on him. It doesn't sound like it's going to be much of an issue for him to find a new place. He has money. He just wants to rent. He wants to rent a house, which may be the only thing. But even then, I think that there's going to be opportunity for him to find a house to rent. Um, I would just focus on the deal, what you're able to offer him in terms of money for the property, and how you may be able to help, maybe possibly offer him if it seems like there's going to be friction. And it seems like I would just assume that he is going to take care of all that extra stuff. Moving to a new place, moving all of his belongings, finding a new place to rent. I would just assume, be under the assumption that he's going to handle all that and just work the deal, figure out what you can offer him. Um, a lot of places, even some let you rent no matter your credit, as long as they get their money. Like that's what I'm saying. I mean, like to be quite honest, Jared, the stuff that you've been bringing up, it's good to consider, but it's nothing that should hold the deal up, um, unless it's going to hold the deal up. So I think that you may be a little overly considerate, and I've done this myself. At one point we had a lead, and me and my partner, uh, we called around to um, we called around to nursing facilities because he was wanting to move from his house into a care home, but he had like diabetes and all types of other health conditions that was going to need like nurses on staff. So we were calling around, making sure that we figured out a place for him. And this was before he even signed an agreement, and he never signed an agreement. So we wasted a bunch of time. So just make sure you're not wasting time on this guy. Get an agreement in place. Figure out how it is that you may be able to help him, and say, obviously I'm not going to close on this property and kick you out if I'm not able to, or if you're not able to do these things, if you're not able to find a place. We can make a contingent on that or whatever the case may be. And then once you get an agreement, then you'll know that your efforts aren't being wasted and you can actually help him find a place. You can, consider all these things that you're talking about, but I really wouldn't consider it all until he's ready to move forward with an agreement. Um, it's kind of, it sounds a little shady and it sounds like, oh, like, if you were truly in this business to help people, you would help them regardless. But like, you don't want to waste your time. You want to help the people that are willing to be helped. Um, so it's one thing if he's like, yeah, okay, I'm really wanting to sell this property. I, I just need a place to move into, this, that. Um, and then it's like, okay, well, have you looked around? Where are you trying to move to? Do you have any specific areas? Um, and he's like, I don't really want to deal with it. Then he's probably not motivated, really as motivated as he's coming across, um, probably would need help moving too. Seems like he got a lot of stuff. Right. So that's something that maybe you can toss around in conversation because that's not that big of a deal. That's just going to cut into your assignment fee. You should just say, hey, if you have the money to front, consider that too, though, because you're going to have to front that money to get him moved likely before you get your assignment fee. So, be depending on how much stuff he has, I would, consider $500 to $1,000 just the moving. Again, that's like on the small side, I think. If there's like a lot of stuff, I would consider more than that. But yeah, that's something that you can toss around. Hey, um, we may be able to help out with moving expenses if you find a place, or, I hope that I'm making sense when I'm saying this. I just don't go crazy trying to help this guy if he hasn't signed an agreement yet. I guess that's what I'm really trying to say is don't invest too much of your time, energy, and attention to trying to solve all of this guy's problems if he's not willing to commit to you and sign an agreement. Toss it around, throw out the feelers. Hey, I may be able to help you out with moving expenses and hire some movers. Hey, if you're really desperate, I may be able to get a realtor on board, but at the end of the day, put it on him, put it back on him. I'm going to need you to help though. I'm going to need your participation. I can't just have you kick back drinking a beer in your place while all these people are moving your belongings. And, I think that that's unfortunately what some people assume because they know that, oh, well, you're trying to buy my house, like anybody, I'll find somebody else who wants to buy it and they'll do all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, you can go ahead and find that person because I'm not willing to do that without an agreement. Again, do all that stuff once you have an agreement. But that sounds hot. That sounds hot, bro. That leads hot. I would work the numbers. I would say just put the closing date out. I would say like set a 60-day close and allow him that time to find a new place, to get his stuff moved in, all that stuff. Give him 60 days and say, if we're able to get you all settled into a new place before that, we can close then once you're all out. It may only take 45 days. But then once you get that agreement in place, then you can start forcing the issue and saying, okay, yeah, we're set out 60 days, but like, how can I help expedite this? Do you need me to find you a place? Then I wouldn't have a problem with calling around, you know, finding him a new place. What was that contingency you talked about? I'm kind of retracting that. I don't think it would be a good one to place. Out, like the contingency of um, him finding a new place, but it's not a very contingency. I was kind of just ranting because that's not going to give him any motivation to move out, knowing that he has an out. Like he'll just be like, it's just so much easier for him to give up on the deal if he knows that there's no risk involved in just backing out. So I wouldn't do that at all. It was a bad idea. Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna call this property I got texted on last night. Keep working that though. Keep working that deal, and just focus on the house. Focus on the house and the money that he's gonna get, and then obviously, like you're doing, consider what he has to do in order to sell it, and help the best way that you can after you get the agreement in place. Hey, Mr. Seller, I completely understand that you're looking for a new place. You have a bunch of belongings, and you're gonna need you'd like to rent a new place. And based on what you're telling me, it sounds like you're just over this property, and I really want to help you out with this property, and get you, as much money as possible for it. Sounds like you want to just wipe your hands clean with it. I'm glad that I was able to connect with you. Uh, you know, we're able to get you that cash offer, hopefully just have you walk with that net cash offer in your pocket. Now, have you taken a look and kind of know what area you're wanting to move to? I've considered, possibly moving to this area. Okay, have you taken a look at the market and seeing if any houses are up for rent right now? No, I haven't done that. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm able to do on this property is X, Y, and Z, offer you this, cover the closing costs, whatever. Um, and then what we can do is set that closing date out 60 days. That way, you have these 60 days to find a new place, get all of your belongings moved. And once we get this agreement in place, I don't have a problem with, helping you out with that or having somebody on my team help you out with that. But until we get that agreement in place, I mean, I would just leave it at that. I wouldn't say, but I would, it's pretty much implied. Uh, you know, Once we get that agreement in place, I'd be more than willing to help you out with all that stuff. So, back to the offer, if this is something that you're interested in selling this property for, that's something that I'm very confident in handling for you. I would just make it all about the deal, all about the house that you're looking to buy, and not so much about the house that he's looking to move into. That's something that I've done as well, and it's kind of tricked me up. You get caught again, just solving all these people's problems, and then the real subject at hand, which is the property that you're wanting to buy, kind of gets lost in the midst of you trying to help him with all of his other problems. So build rapport, be his friend, but don't just do everything for him. 117. Contract you normally use? I use a little one-page contract. Um, I just switched my contract though to a new one. Well, you see him over there.
Love the breakfast this morning.
Oh, I thought you would. I use a little one-page contract. I just recently switched to a newer one that's 2 pages, I think. But very simple. You can email me, and I'll send you that one-page contract that I used to close my first 2 deals. Very simple. Pull it up, and I use Hello Sign for the electronic signatures. I don't know what you use or plan to use, or if you plan to just go out there in person. All right, let's see this, guys. Built in '93. This is oh damn. It's like a cookie cutter comp on the same, like literally right down the street, but it was for rent, not for sale. Let's see this one. $230. Okay, 252. Sold back in June. One less bath. Ours goes 262. Same square footage, same lot. 8 years newer. 262. I think I call ours 255-ish. 253.5. One less bath. 263.5. 100 less square feet. 273.5. Same lot. 9 years newer. What I say there? 210, 20, 273. Probably call it like 265. estimated value on prop stream is 270. I call it 270 just to play be a little more aggressive because he's asking 230. I definitely won't be able to do 230, but um, I'm like 208, anywhere from 205 to 210 less repairs. So I guess it's worth giving the realtor a call just to see what's going on. To be honest, I've never called a realtor for an off-market lead. Like I've never really had a conversation with a realtor about making an offer for on a property that they represent the homeowner. Um, Technically, I hate to well, I don't hate, but what's your email? I think technically it's not really even legal for this realtor to represent the seller if they don't have a listing agreement in place. That's me being really annoying, though. She could just be, or he could be operating as a family friend. What did I say? 208 less repairs. Huge house too. Over 2,000 square, not huge, but over 2,000 square feet. To the point where I would, even if it's an average repair, I would need it at something like 170, anywhere from like 150 to 170 to like 190 minimum, and that's just cosmetic. So that's that. Let me just make some notes here. ARV 270K MO 208 less repairs. That's not right. I mean, if it's really bad, which I don't think it is, I would actually need to be at like 130. Set him as a follow-up. I'll give this realtor a call a little later. Don't really think this is a good lead or deal. You think a realtor would help running comps if needed? To be quite honest, no. Unless you know them personally. That's me being brutally honest. If you're not bringing them really any value, or like there's nothing in it for them, I don't really see them kind of wasting their time. Again, me being very honest with you. There's just got to be something in it for them. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying my very best to build a working relationship with a couple realtors in the area so that I can build exclusively with them, so that I can refer them retail leads, and they can refer me as is leads, and they can help me run comps, and I can do something else for them. You know what I mean? Like there's different ways where you can scratch each other's backs, but don't just go ask for something without giving something in return, or at least giving something first. Maybe you find a realtor who just kind of started out and wants to practice, but then that's not somebody who you want running your comps. The way that you want your comps to run is by an expert, a pro who is on the money with the numbers, But those are the type of people who aren't going to waste their time if there's nothing in it for them, because they're doing big business. They're doing a lot of deals. They're running comps for themselves. How did they get so proficient at running comps? Because they're constantly running comps for their own business. So, uh, just be mindful of that. Mhm. Hey, Les. Hello. Oh, weird. It was like my audio was messed up there. Well, preferences. Make sure it's all good. Internal speaker input. Internal microphone. All good. Hello.
Hello?
Hi, this is Miss Dixon.
Yes.
Hi, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Ember Hollow Lane.
Yeah, I'm not interested. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for taking the call. This is a liens list that I pulled a while back. So I forget who asked about it yesterday, but somebody was like, I think it was I Will Always Love Dogs. Mentioned like, am I calling the wrong list? Everybody keeps cursing me out. Everybody keeps yelling, and it's clear that a lot of other people are calling. And I responded with, yeah, you probably don't hear as much of that because I'm calling my Driving for Dollars list that I've built and curated myself. So a lot of those people aren't on these other lists that are getting, dialed constantly. But this is definitely one of those lists. So you may hear some hate come through on this list here because, again, it's a liens list. Um, Tax delinquent, code enforcement, if they're getting hit with like little penalties here and there, whatever the case may be. It's an involuntary lien on PropStream that I'm pulling. So it's not including any outstanding mortgage balances. It's only giving me people who have involuntary liens, meaning liens that they didn't sign up for. The mortgage they signed up for, you know. Exactly. Exactly. It's just a matter of timing. Exactly. It's like you got to call these lists. I mean, you don't have to, but if you avoid calling these lists, you'll never be able to scale. I personally can only call so many Drive for Dollars lists.
Sorry to miss your call. Please leave a detailed message.
I can only I can only build my list. Like if I'm going crazy Drive for Dollars, um, I can maybe get like 50 properties in an hour. That's like I'm in a really rough neighborhood, and I'm cranking them out like really locked in. I could probably get 50 an hour, and then I put them in the dialer, and I'll blow through those in a half hour. You know, I can, Hey James.
What?
Hi, I'm sorry. Is this Miss Spencer?
No.
Oh, I might not have the right number. Hopefully, you can help me out. I was looking for the owner of a property on Robertson Road.
I don't know. You have the wrong number.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Any list, exactly. Doesn't matter the list. It really doesn't. And I'm finding that every day, more and more every day. Like I used to call through like 100 people on one list and be like, "Oh, I don't want to call this list. It's fucking getting beat up." And then you'll have a conversation with a hot lead like a minute later, and then it reassures exactly what you're saying. Like, oh, it really is just about the timing. Like, hey, Welton.
Who?
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I have the right number here. Hopefully, you can help me out. I was looking for the owner of a property on Quail Run Drive.
You have the wrong number, sir.
I'm sorry about that. She said, "Oh." I notice when I drive for downtown area properties, always have the most people get called. Yeah, exactly. That's true too. Um, yeah, exactly. Just because you're driving for dollars doesn't mean that you get to just like. I mean, it does. I was gonna say it doesn't mean you just get to pick whatever area to drive. It does. Hey, Michael.
May I help you?
Hi there. Not sure if I have the right number. Hopefully, you can help me out. I was looking for the owner of a property on Bird Meadow Lane.
Yes, I'm the wife, but we're not in the process of trying to sell anything, okay?
Gotcha. Completely understand. I appreciate you taking the call.
Thank you.
That guy's name was Michael Jordan. Yeah, I was going to speak from experience, just having driven for dollars in so many different areas. There's definitely still an art to picking the area in which you're going to drive. You want to make sure, just like any other, if you're looking at pulling lists via zip codes, which I just recently did for my last list, you want to make sure that there's market activity so that when you do generate a lead in this area, it's actually a lead and you don't run into that issue that we were running into yesterday about there just not being any comps for the properties because they're out in the boonies or they're just not in an area where there's a lot of cash buyer activity. So yeah, you definitely got to find the sweet spot, because if you just go to the one area where, hey Jose,
Hello?
hey Jose, hello. Um, if you just go to the one area where all the cash buyers are buying, that's where everybody else is generating their leads. So I'm trying. That's something that I've considered recently is finding the sweet spot, like not going to just the the most densely, you know, concentrated area of cash buyer activity, but rather finding an area with some blue waters, where there may be opportunity that people are passing up on, but still a decent amount of cash buyer activity. So I encourage you, anybody that's watching this, to go watch Max Maxwell's list source hack, where you can find your hot zip codes in your area without actually buying a list. You go through and you set the parameters to show me all of the cash buyer activity. Hey, John.
I believe you may have the wrong number.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
Um, So that's something that I've been focusing on is trying to find that sweet spot to where there's still opportunities, there's still leads to be generated, but it's not getting beat up so much because everybody knows this is the hot spot. This is the zip code. This is the area to generate leads. It's kind of like if you're familiar with the Houston market, anybody watching this, I found that to be the case with like Sunnyside. Um, it's just like past the point of gentrification. It's gentrified now. If you see a property that's not brand spanking new that was built within the last 5 years, it's a property that is 70 years old, and the people who live there are stubborn and are never going to sell. And they know how much their property is worth now because they're the last ones to sell in the area. They're going to hold on to it until they're the very last ones in the area to sell, and they're going to sell for a fortune. That's what they think at least. Um, so like that's an area where there's going to be, if you look it up, a lot of cash buyer activity because over the past few years, th- it's been nothing but cash buyers going in there and buying these properties and tearing them down and building, new development. But it's not the best area to generate leads because there's no more leads. And that could be the case as well. Just because there's a high amount of cash buyer activity doesn't mean there's a plentiful bountiful of leads left or still there. Sunnyside's the perfect example because it's a small niche market. There's it only the radius of the area is only like a couple miles, so um, it's a perfect example. But there's, I'm sure, plenty of other little sub markets that are just like that where the leads have run dry. There's only so many people in one specific area that want to sell. And again, Sunnyside's a perfect example because it's a new development area. So nobody in that area is going to sell for, you know, years, at least distressed, sell because they have to. It's going to be a while before anybody in that area sells because they have to. Yeah, I stay away from South Houston. Right. Hey, Gerald.
Hello.
Hi, I'm sorry. Is this Miss Day?
Yes.
Hi, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Turtle Creek Drive.
Yeah, that's our home. That's where we live.
Oh, okay. Completely understand. Yeah, I wanted to give you a quick call and wanted to see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling?
No, no, we
No.
don't.
Okay, completely
Okay.
understand. While I have you, would you possibly happen to have any other property you might consider selling at the moment?
No, not at the moment.
No. Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the call.
Okay.
Bye
Bye.
now. Stano black folk. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what it is. You're very right, Jared. Out there in Sunnyside, South Houston. Hi everyone, we here, guys. What up, y'all? Do me a favor, don't forget hit that like button. I know you guys don't intentionally not hit it. Hopefully, you don't take any offense to me just reminding you. Lala, I kind of went into the comping that you were asking me about a little bit ago. I don't know if you were in here. Kind of revisit that in a minute here. Yeah, so Lala, what and I realize why you asked because you've been working the Alabama market. I'm not sure if Alabama, I would imagine Alabama is a disclosure state, and that's why you were asking about running comps in Texas. It is definitely different, it being a non-disclosure state. Oh no, I missed it. Yeah, so let me refresh. So I'm assuming Alabama is a non or a disclosure state. So people in a in a disclosure state, meaning that the state or people are obligated or required to report their sales history or the information of the transactions, particularly what we're talking about is the price to the county. They need to report that, and it becomes public information, public data, so that people like me and you can go along and just look it up and find out what these off-market properties sold for. But in non-disclosure states, it's not required. In fact, aside from off-market properties, even on-market properties, you'll pull up like Redfin or Zillow, and it will tell you what it was listed at, or what it was removed at, or what the price changed to, but it won't actually even tell you what it sold for. That's why I find PropStream really um, beneficial, because if you pull it up on PropStream, you'll see all that. If you'll go to the MLS details within the property, and you'll see it was listed for 300,000, price reduced to 285, and it ended up selling for 280, right? Whereas if you see that on Redfin, all you're going to see is that it was listed for 300,000. So that's a little tip for you. But essentially, what people like us in Texas are forced to do a lot of the time is reverse engineer the formula, like how you watch or how you hear me essentially reverse engineer the formula, figure out the ARV. So you got to comp it, you got to find out the ARV, and you got to reverse engineer it. Okay, if the ARV is 300,000, I got to take so much off for buyer costs, commissions, closing fees, yada yada. Okay, and then I want to take this much off of for assignment fee. I imagine that the buyer is going to want to make this much on it, and then I think that it's going to cost this much in repairs. So you got to reverse engineer it. Whereas in a disclosure state, people have the luxury of just seeing what the cash comps sold for. And if you know that you're comparing apples to apples between your subject property and the cash comp that you're looking at, then you know what a cash buyer is going to pay for it, and you just simply have to get it under contract under that. So, and I was mentioning, ideally you'd want to have more than one cash comp to validate it and justify your offer price to the seller on your subject property. But if you have 4 or 5 properties, all of them sold for 100,000, 105,000, 100,000, 110,000, 105,000, then I can likely get this dispoed and sell this to a cash buyer for 105,000, let's call it, right? Now, what do I have to do? I have to get it under 100,000 if I want a $5,000 assignment fee, get it at 95 if I want a $10,000 assignment fee, and it's literally that simple. Um, Again, that's the luxury that people have in a disclosure state. They get to see what these off-market properties sold for, what these cash comps sold for, and then you can take it another step and see not only what cash comps went for, but who bought it. Are LLCs buying this? Then that's even more validation. Okay, boom. Not only are people paying cash at this price for as is comps in this area, but companies, businesses, people who are doing this as a business, who have gone to the extent of filing it for an LLC and buying properties under this LLC, it's just a kind of the cherry on top and what you need for validation. Like, okay, yeah, these are legit cash buyers and they're paying around this much for similar properties in similar condition. You still got to consider some stuff. Again, this is if you're comparing apples to apples, but if your place needs a full gut remodel and these cash comps that you're seeing are kind of like rent ready, um, don't really need much work, you still have to consider that. So don't just like automatically assume that, oh, but again, Lala, you're asking because of Texas. So you're pretty much forced to reverse engineer it, but you can get lucky in, I'm assuming non-disclosure states because I've run into this often in Texas. Just because it's sold as is doesn't mean that it was sold off market. So if you're lucky, you'll find properties that sold on market through a realtor listed on the MLS, but sold in as is condition. So you'll find that. It's a little bit more rare, but if that's the case, then you can just do the same thing. Boom, it sold on market as is for this. Um, and now I just need to get it underneath that. But more often than not, you don't really have those cash comps and not enough of them to really justify. You may get like a little one off here and there, like, oh, this one sold as is for this much. But it's personally, I don't like to really rely on one comp, especially when it's something like that, like a as is sale that went on market a year ago in a non-disclosure state. You know what I mean? It's uh, I just personally like to have a little bit more data to back up my offer price. But you can get lucky like that, and you can verify that by pulling it up in PropStream or pulling it up on an MLS website and looking at the description just to be sure. Because sometimes they won't have full pictures; it may just be one picture of the outside of the property, but the description will say something like, um, perfect for an investor. Needs a lot of renovation, being sold as is, cash only offers. It'll say something like that in the description of the listing. So then you'll know again, oh, okay, this is a cash comp, and then you can look up at PropStream what it sold for, and then just try to get it underneath that. But for the most part, you're having to actually figure out the ARV, work whatever formula you want to work. I know that was your question essentially on a wholesaling hotline. I think Lala was like, what's the multiplier? And Jamil, uh, I would tap into his straight out of comp on Sundays because I've watched a few of them and he does kind of get into it on like what the multiplier is. Like he was saying, he dictates his multiplier on what he's going to multiply ARV from, based on whether or not the market is, uh, you know, high growth area. I forget the terminology he uses, like high appreciation, high growth, low growth. Um, but Houston, I would imagine, is probably in the top tier to boom in market. So people are going to pay higher, which is what allows us to pay higher and compete with other wholesalers or investors who may be making offers to our same sellers. Super helpful. Appreciate it, of course. Hey, you're Jay Leb. You even spelled that right. How'd you know, man? That's that be more slang. Hey, yo. All right, let me hop back on here. That was not Gerald, so crack this window again.
Hello?
Hey, is this Mr. Ramirez?
Fuck you then.
Excuse me? What do you think? Was that Mr. Ramirez? Didn't sound like it. One second, I'll be right back to my run restaurant. Just in case you guys wanted to know. Oh, sweet baby. Sweet baby. He was like, fuck you mean? So yes, that's probably him. You think? I didn't think that was him. I'm gonna put a wrong number. Well, yeah, regardless. I'm not gonna call that number back, so it doesn't matter whether or not I. Looks like Mr. Ramirez is having a bad day, for real. It's too early for all that. I guess it's noon over there already, so I guess his morning routine has concluded and now he's faced with the troubles of the day. Poor guy. Hey, David.
Hello?
Hey, David.
Yes.
David, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know it's a bit random here, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Country Place Drive.
Yeah, I'm not interested in selling.
Oh, okay. Completely understand. Well, appreciate you taking the call.
Bye.
David, not interested. Man, it gets chilly so quick in here. Shouldn't be grouchy during Christmas season, for real. Yeah. Honestly, there's no room for any type of negativity in the month of December. That's facts. Miss me with all that. Sweet baby. Sweet baby. Where the leads at though? I haven't generated a good dialer lead in so long. He's getting cold too. I feel like so. Oh, it was Lala. You still in here, Lala? What happened with the walkthrough? Has that happened yet? Your cash buyer walkthrough this morning? I knew somebody had something going on this morning. He's doing the walkthrough now. Fingers crossed. Let's go. Wow. Everybody drop a comment wishing Lala good luck. Let's go, Lala.
Record your message at the tone.
Dang, you're not stressed, huh? You're over here still tapped into the live stream. That's love. I appreciate that. Not like you should be stressed or anything. I really don't think you have to be. No reason to be. Sending texts out while listening. Love that. Love that. Man, where these folks at? Lala getting the love, getting the good luck she deserves. Yo, where are these people at right now?
Hello?
Hi, is this Miss Breedlove?
I'm sorry?
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I have the right number here. Hopefully, you can help me out. So I was looking for the owner of a property on Williams Grant Street.
Everybody's at lunch right now. Can you call back after 12:30?
Sure, we'll do.
All right, thank you.
I'm not calling that number back. Marking it wrong number. Again, because I sounded like I caught him while he was at work. Definitely don't want to call him at work and have other people be answering phone calls for him. You know, like any hot leads from the last few vids. Nothing crazy hot since that verbal agreement I got that ended up. I mean, I don't want to say it fell through just yet, but it's not looking up. Have some people. I mean, I haven't generated any new hot leads, but I've definitely had some good quality conversations with some follow-ups. I think it was like 2 days ago. I had a pretty good session where I blew through all my follow-ups and I had a couple good conversations. Hey, Thomas. Hello. Hello. Hey, Mark.
Hello?
Hello.
Professional mate survey?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I dialed the wrong number here.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, J-Lep. Nothing smoking. It's been a really long time since I've had somebody on the dialer uh, further the conversation beyond the intro. To be quite honest, a lot of my recent leads have been coming from texting. I know that it's because I'm putting more attention towards texting, so that's why I wanted to hop on here early today and um, really dial today. It's going to be kind of a shorter day for me, so I wanted to get started a little earlier. What about you guys? You guys generating anything hot? I know Lala's got a cash buyer walkthrough right now. I know Jared's been working a few leads that he's got. Sounded like he had a smoking one today. A lot of moving parts, but motivated seller nonetheless. You know, CWL's got a few under contract right now. He's got that vacant commercial building. I think he has a single family under contract as well right now. Hey, Philip.
Can't take your call now. At the tone, please.
Yo, it's uber dry right now. I might switch lists up here. I might as well just call through the rest of this list. It's less than 100. Should take me another 10 minutes or so. Some guy texted me yesterday and said, "Hello, I was driving by where you have your house, and I'm trying to buy 2 more houses this month. I was wondering if you want to sell your house. If you do, give me a call. I pay cash for it." And this was after I already texted him 3 times and dropped him 2 ringless voicemails to buy his house. I don't know if he's trying to be funny or what's going on there, but I thought that was an interesting text. Hello? Fuck.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling Smith.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I think I dialed the wrong number here.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Almost always when it dials like that, it's going to connect to some type of an office line or business phone number. I tend to stay on the line just to verify that and, pick up on how they answer the phone. And in that case, it was like I didn't hear exactly what she said, but it was definitely a place of business. And if you've watched the channel before, you know that I do my very best to avoid cold calling people at their place of work. Do it if you want, but I don't really have any intention on ever doing that. They would have to be very motivated to have that conversation with you while they're at work and for you to call them on their business line and for you to be able to actually extract the information that you need out of them while they're sitting at work, probably with all their colleagues sitting around them. Just not going to make for a very productive conversation. Someone just calling me. Oh, it is. Man, my Google Voice is so fucked up, bro. Anytime I go to answer a phone call, it hangs up on it. I'll hop off this campaign real quick, see if I have this number in my system. Because it was not saved. Oh, nobody in my dialer. My text software. Nope. Somebody random. All right, let me switch lists here. Should I call that number back real quick? I'll call it back, see if maybe it's a motivated seller. Unlikely. I get quite a lot of spam calls myself, to be honest. I find usually it gets flagged as spam, but that one did not. Just hopped into another list. This one's absentee owners, a little bit bigger list. Probably a little bit less motivation, but um, possibly more opportunities just due to the size of the list. I'm hoping.
Is full and cannot accept new.
Hey, Paul.
Who I'm speaking with?
I'm sorry.
Who I'm speaking with?
My name is Derek. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I have the right number. Hopefully, you can help me out here. I was looking for the owner of a property on Via Del Street.
Okay, that's me.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick call and wanted to see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling?
No, we don't have no plans for that.
Okay, completely understand. While I have you, would you possibly happen to have any other property you might consider selling at the moment?
No, I don't have any other property.
Okay,
No.
okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the call.
All right.
Leave your name and phone number after the beep.
Do I have headphones? I got now they're dusty as hell because I don't use them. Hey, Armando.
Yes.
Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Mackinac Street.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick call and wanted to see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling?
No, it's a satellite for my business.
Oh, okay, okay. Completely understand. While I have you, would you happen to have any others you might consider selling at the moment?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, all right. You think maybe in the near future at all, or no?
Probably not.
Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate you taking the call.
Not a problem.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Um, these are Jabras. Jabra, I forget what series they are. Jabra is like they're the leader in headphones, headsets. I'll get you the exact model of these, but I don't even remember. I think they were the think it was that Evolve 265 is that exact set, but that's on like the higher end. Just depends on what you're looking for. Hello?
Hello, this is Clinic Comp International.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I think I dialed the wrong number here.
Okay.
You're very welcome, J-Lub. I don't know if I mentioned this the other day, but I think I did. I went through all my anybody who said that they weren't interested through text since I started, which was like a couple hundred people. I went in and I made sure that those people weren't being dialed on my dialer because if you were here the other day, I ran into a few situations where I was calling people who I already got no's from, or or some people who I actually intend to follow up with. It's just that I'm not working on a central CRM. So I have leads that I've generated through text that I follow up with on my texting platform. And some of those people are in my dialer as well. So I went through and I just made sure that they weren't being dialed. And then last night I went through because I forgot. Hello? I hate it when it rings like this. I had only done the people who said that they weren't interested, and then failed to not dial the people who had follow up stuff scheduled. So then I went and did that last night. Um, Anybody who I'm following up with as well, anybody who I marked as like realtor referral, just those like miscellaneous. Hello? Hello? So I'm pretty confident, about 99% certain that nobody is going to get called. 99, because there's some people that I'm sure I missed, but for the most part, I shouldn't be dialing anybody who I've already spoken with through text. Well, and that's the thing. I was never calling the same number that I was texting because I intentionally brought the mobile number to the text and did not bring that same mobile number to my dialer. So if anything, I'm like texting them on their cell phone and calling them on their landline and still getting a hold of the same person. So I guess there's no real guarantee, but for the most part, I feel pretty confident that I'm not going to be dialing the same people. It's one thing to dial the people that say that they're not interested, but a whole other thing to dial the people who have maybe already said that they are interested and that you plan to follow up with them. And that was like kind of what happened the other day. The guy was like, "Yeah, I mean, we've talked before, but this is my situation. I'd love to sell, but this is what's going on." Luckily, he was cool about it, but pretty embarrassing to be honest, because I'd probably given him the same exact cold call pitch. You know what I mean? Like, if you've watched me for any longer than 10 minutes, you'll know that I say my initial cold call pitch the same exact way for every single person. So I'd be lying if I said that that wasn't a fear of mine to get on the phone with the same person and give them and deliver them the same exact pitch. And then they're like, all right, come on, man. Did you have a hard time hearing or comprehend what they were saying on the phone when you first started out? No. Do headphones help a lot? No. They really don't. That's why I say it really just depends on what you're looking for. Um, I found myself doing this a lot when I was talking on my phone. I would set it down on my desk, and because when I was using Mojo Dialer, I needed my phone. You needed your phone to dial through, so I wasn't talking to my computer like I'm doing right now. I was actually talking to my phone. So I found myself doing this a lot. When somebody picked up, I would pick up the phone and talk to them like this, and then when we would hang up, I would put it down. It was just like out of habit. I kept picking it up and like doing stuff with my hands. Whereas with the headset, it's just there. You don't have to do anything with your hands, worry about it. I can focus on the computer, taking notes. Hey, Robert.
Okay.
Hello.
Can I help you?
Hi, I'm sorry. I think I may have dialed the wrong number. Am I speaking with Miss Edwards?
Wrong number.
I'm sorry about that. Um, yeah, it really just depends on what you're looking for. I just bought it because I was splurging, and um, they told me that I needed a headset to do call tools. Literally told me that in my onboarding email, so that you need it. It's required. And now I've come to find out that I don't even need a phone or a headset. I can just simply talk in and out of my computer. So that kind of bothered me a little bit, to be quite honest. But that's really why I bought it. And then I was like, shoot, if I'm going to buy a headset, I might as well get one that I'm going to use forever. So I got a nice one. Um, Sound quality is like A1. I watched a bunch of YouTube reviews on like comparing this one to other headsets, and the sound quality, the input sound quality being that what they're hearing, them hearing my voice is coming through crystal clear using the headset. It has a bit of noise cancellation. Um, Really comfortable. A bunch of padding on the headset. Has like I like the feature of like when you use the little toggle. If it's down, you're good. If it's up, it's muted. You have a little mute button on the side of the ear as well. Volume controls on the side of the ear. It's Bluetooth, so it's wireless. I really like it, but I regret buying it now, but once I close another deal, I'm sure I'll think different. An insurance company before, oh yeah, they gave us shit headsets. Really, really, really bad headsets. Same thing, same concept, I was dialing off of like if you imagine an office phone where it's like I can literally pick up the phone, wired phone, and talk. I used to do that if I was gonna make a quick phone call, just like, hey, boom, boom, boom. And then if I knew I was gonna sit on the phone with somebody for 10 minutes, I would pick up the headset, put on the headset, drop the little toggle, and dial out on the keypad. And then the same thing, it was hands free, which was necessary because if you heard me the other day, you're just constantly typing notes, like constant typing in shorthand, typing in pretty much code. Like if you were to read my notes, anybody outside of the industry, if they were to read the notes, they'd be like, what the hell does this mean? But anybody inside the industry would know exactly what it means because everybody uses the same shorthand type of codes, abbreviations. But it was necessary. Like you had to type that way, or else you wouldn't be able to keep up with the notes. And you needed to use a headset in that case, or else you'd be there like this. You know what I mean? So if you're on speaker doing this, I don't see it being an issue because your hands are free. It's just a matter of freeing up your hands, I think, so that you can either take notes by hand, take notes. Hey, David.
Goodbye.
Hello. Take notes by hand, take notes on the computer, run comps on the computer, do all that. You just want to free up your hands is, I think, the biggest part. He said, "Okay, bye." Sounded like he was on the phone for a second before I connected. I wonder if you can turn off the predictive dialer in call tools, or if it is just a predictive dialer. I'd be interested in turning it off for like a session and seeing how it affects my contact and abandon rate. Because I'll be honest, I don't really feel like I get a hold of that many more people dialing off of more than 3 lines. It could be because I haven't really gotten a decent sized fresh list in here. I think I need to do that before I really make form my opinion on call tools. I need to get a list of like 2,000 fresh properties in here and just like sit down and blow through them. Kind of what I'm doing right now, to be honest. The list I'm calling right now is close to about 700 properties. I've already called the list, though. That's the thing. I've already gone through it, gotten a bunch of no's, I'm sure. Yeah, bro, mumbling, that was like a thing in my old job. People would perfect the mumble, and I never understood it.
Hello?
Hey, Joanne.
No, this is Joanne's number. It hasn't been for 4 years.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Because yeah, on the floor at my old insurance job, it's just cubicles, open air. You didn't have your own office. Nobody had their office. It was just rows of cubicles. Your team was in one row with your supervisor at the end of the row. Hey, Charles. Hello. Hello. So everybody could hear what you were saying, even if they didn't want to. It was like at times I wish that I could tune out listening to the person next to me, but it's just impossible to tune them out. They're no more than 5 feet away from you. And I had somebody in front of me, somebody diagonally next to me, behind me, diagonally. So it was like up to 15 people were hearing me on the phone anytime I was on the phone, and that really stressed me out. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but yeah, what I was gonna say, people, I never understood how they did it, but they perfected the mumble. They would be able to talk underneath their breath, but still, I guess, have a productive conversation with people. It's just not my voice. Like you guys can hear. Like I am pretty. I'm limiting my volume right now, actually, because it's just not. I mean, I guess I don't have to, but it was fairly early when I started the stream, and I just don't want to be screaming. I live in an apartment complex, so I'm sitting right next to my window. Everybody can hear what I'm saying, but uh, yeah, they at my old job, there used to be people who could talk like this, and still, have a really good conversation with the person on the other end of the phone, but nobody around them could hear what they were saying. And I would try to do that, and I'd be like, I'd get people on the phone like, I can't hear you. Hey, George. Hello. So I never understood that. Well, I understood it, but I could never achieve it myself. I found a pizza place I worked at a few years ago. A lot of people would mumble the words, but it actually wasn't that bad. Yeah. Listen to your live streams. I do sometimes can't understand what they're saying. Yeah, yeah. I guess I understand what you were asking then. Getting a headset isn't going to correct that. Uh, it's not going to correct that. If you can't hear what they're saying through my speakers on my computer, it may be a little bit better through the headset, just crisper. But um, for the most part, it's probably like a connection issue on their end, or just the way they talk. And I'm sure for you, it not only coming out of my computer, but then passing through the live stream. I'm sure the quality of the sound gets a little disrupted. Hey, Daniel?
No, I'm sorry, you have the wrong number.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. That comfy. Hey, Ella?
Scribble. Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, am I speaking with Mr. and Mrs. Blunt? Okay.
Leave a message, and I'll return your.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi there. Sorry, I'm not sure if I have the right number. Hopefully, you can help me out. I was looking for the owner of a property on Scottsdale Drive.
Speaking.
Hi, my name is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was just wanted to give you a quick call and see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling?
No, I have a lease on it right now.
Okay, okay. So no consideration, not appropriate for me to follow up maybe after the lease is up?
Not for a couple of years.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the call.
Okay, thank you.
Bye now. Over there in 6 months. Hello?
Yes,
Hi there. Is this Cheyenne?
this is his wife.
Oh, this is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Faulkner
No,
Ridge Drive.
not for sale. None of it's for sale.
Hey, Harry. Hello.
Hello?
Hey, is this Mr. and Mrs. Williams?
Who's calling?
Oh, this is Derek. I'm sorry. I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a
Please,
property I believe
please,
you own on Lost Quail Drive.
look. We don't want to sell no house, so stop calling us.
Yes, ma'am. Set her on a 6-month follow up. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Leave your name and phone number after the beep. We will return your
Starting to get busy here in Amazon, I bet, man. Picking up for the holiday season. I'd imagine so. I love it when people do that. That last woman, they preface they're like, "Don't call me ever again" with "Look, look, look, look." Listen here, listen here. Just got super dry. Hello?
Hello?
Hi. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I have the right number here. Hopefully you could help me out. I was looking for the owner of a property on Scarlet Maple Drive.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, okay. My name is Derek. Just wanted to give you a quick call and wanted to see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered selling?
I'm not going to sell that property, so I don't think we can move on this.
So I'm sorry. It sounds like maybe you have considered selling before, but you've decided not to.
No, I've not never considered it. But well, if I feel like, I'll definitely call you.
Sure,
Okay?
sure. Okay. I appreciate
Thanks.
you taking the call.
You said your name was
My name is Derek.
Derek. Okay,
All
Derek.
right. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good one.
Well,
That was weird. He was like trying to let me off nice, but he like kind of to me made it sound like he might have been interested, but there was something preventing him from moving forward because he used the term moving forward. I was like, what the hell? So I tried to dig a little deeper, but it doesn't sound like he was interested. Basically saying, look, you need to find a different line of work because I hate your harassing people. Yeah, exactly. Just like trying to get my attention before they let me have it. Look. Can you hear me? Are you listening? All right. And then they let me have it.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will.
Not. I never do those. Do them if you want. That's not me telling you not to do them, but for me, I'd rather not waste my time. They pretty much are screening their calls because they don't want people like me calling them. So by kind of setting that up on their end, I will just kind of throw in the towel and let them win. Fine. I won't call you. You know, it pretty much just allow the screening to do what it's intended to do, to screen me out. Because I feel like I'd just be wasting my time saying, Derek, state the reason for your call. I'm trying to buy your house. I could probably get creative with it and like maybe lie in what I'm calling about, but then I'm just gonna have to get on the phone with them and tell them the real reason. So I just don't do those. I think it's just a waste of time. Personally, again, that's me. Do what you feel. Hey, Javier.
yeah.
Javier, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Bristlebrook Drive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick call and wanted to see if you'd ever consider an offer on your property there. You ever considered?
Hold on just a second. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can you hear me? Fuck. Just hung up. I'm about to call him back. Quick call back thing.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 3.
Just gonna go ahead and assume that he's not interested. All right, I'm gonna hit it for another couple minutes here. Pull my live stream over 2 hours, and then I'm gonna take a quick break, run, take my dog out. I'm on dog duty today. Maybe eat a little quick lunch.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Elmo.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Basil Briar Lane. That woman's name was Elmo. I can't make that up. She responded to it too. I almost felt silly asking, "Is this Elmo?" But she said, "Yep." Hardly eating my breakfast. All right, hop off the dial real quick. I'm gonna get going. Take my little midday break, like I was mentioning. Come back on here in like an hour or two. Hit my follow-ups. Maybe do a little bit more dialing as well. Um, so if you guys are available, I'd love to have you join me in a little bit here after I do my thing. Appreciate every last one of you guys. If you haven't already, if you're watching this live or after the fact, please do hit that like, subscribe, notification. Don't hit the notification if you don't want to. I never hit the notification on anybody's, but definitely like it if you enjoyed the content. And I'd love to have you subscribe. I'm wanting to hit a goal of 50 subscribers by the end of the year. At the pace that I'm at, I'm averaging like one subscriber every 2 days. So if I keep on that pace, I should be able to hit that 50 subscriber goal before the end of the year. So if you're wanting to help me out, that I'd greatly appreciate that. Please leave a comment with any questions, comments, concerns, recommendations, suggestions that you have for either me and my business or me on my YouTube channel here in terms of what type of content you'd like to see. Other than that, I will see you guys in a few hours. Peace.